I could probably get it done today. Yeah, I just would rather do it that way. Shoulders and arms are a little bit cold. Don't really want to have to worry about taking on off the sweater. So, actually, oh, he is still, eh? I understand that may be a little bit distracting. That looks cool too in some ways. What you call those ways? I don't know. It looks cool. It is what it is. It's the house we have. Thankfully have. Oh, London. Challenge the argument, not the person. Be brave. Okay. Oops. Oh man. Ah! That's not what I wanted to do. Just a moment. Ah, for goodness sakes. It's being particular. Okay, well, so much for that idea. Sorry. In a certain way, but, you know. But, I have a feeling though if I open a new tab, I just want to watch my energy and make sure that I'm putting it out there when there's somebody here to receive it, essentially. That's okay. But I did say, what is it, so maybe hit you here, although I would, here. I'm sure other people have, and he could guess at mine, so that's an idea. Stop. I typed a little note to myself over here. Typed a little note to myself somewhere where I keep telling myself not to. It's just handy dandy. I don't think he's in the. There's no link. So. But and I'm not making sense of one of the things now. For camera spacing, right? It's a little bit odd. But other than that, wanting over 90. I don't know what that's about. They're not even actual words. They look like both like combinations of two words. Totally four. I wonder, because I'd like to put the title here at least, if nothing else. Right. Okay. It's being wonky, but hopefully once we get a chat starting, this device is, this one's fine. Once we get a chat starting, people can look at that and get an idea of the title if they're scrolling the lives and not otherwise seeing it. I actually wasn't sure exactly what to call this one, and usually I'm a bit better at coming up with titles, so I'm open to suggestions. The topic, or at least the main topic, is um, basically talking about connections that we all form in our lives, and life, and how to decide when some of them that have maybe faded away, you know, but have the possibility of reconnecting and reestablishing, um, you know, how do you decide to do that? How does that go for you when you do it? Has it been mixed? Has it been only good? Has it been only bad? You know, um, I would think probably for most of us it's mixed, but some of us may not have a whole lot of experience doing it either. Like, we feel pretty strongly, sometimes when we decide to not, you know, not stay connected to someone. It's always nice when we can kind of, work through things, and when one can, work through things and try and find some understanding. But obviously, sometimes it's hard, and some people don't make it easy. It's true. We suddenly have four of you here. Amazing, wonderful. Welcome to have you here. Have been rolling super long. It was like one, and then that one left, and then something before. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of the main topic that I want to focus on. Um, and there was something else I was already was thinking to say, but I've forgotten what it was. But the other day I did a video and I mentioned somebody that I remembered from a place I used to live, and I'm trying to decide whether to reconnect with them. So this is an example on this topic. Now I have no issues with the person. She ran into me a year-ish ago, not more than two. I wouldn't even say much more than one, if more. No, it says for one. The one who's still here is meant to be, I feel like. Do please like, I would appreciate that. Support this YouTube channel in the community. It looks like you actually left, so that was... And the thing in the forest stayed for a little while. Maybe they thought, maybe this is a trick. Oh, but now it says 4 again. I don't know if something's being wonky. That reminds me. I have to run upstairs. I'm going to go ask G something, the other person in the home, because, well, but that being said, I don't know. If you guys can if you're putting comments especially, just to indicate, because I have it on. I put one in the one I did this morning. It showed up, and then when I wrapped up, it said that there was 3 other comments, which it didn't show to me on either device. So I'm tempted to not even really focus on this device because I'm not sure if it's going to show them anyway. I mean, there might be a bit more of a likelihood. So I might go do that. But if you can show me that comments are showing up here on this device, then I can just stay here and do that. I'm really starting to wonder though, because the numbers have been decent starting off, and there's even been some retention, and then they've left, and it's kind of like maybe they are saying hi. I'm not reacting to it, so I guess they're not working. Just a moment. Hello. I don't think I could forget that one even if you wanted to. But let me just quickly try to forget it or to do what I want to do. Bit of both. Just a moment here. I appreciate you being here. But then again, I can click this. Oh, well, that's just confusing. Okay, so I just hope that the comments work here. I just hope that the comments work here because this device is being too wonky, the other one. Anyway, so basically, and at least that the likes, that you can like, I haven't been rolling more than, well, few seconds more than 10 minutes, but yeah, I just double check, just make sure I got the comments turned on, and then if there's some sort of glitch, there's some sort of glitch, and it is what it is. That does make me think of something else, but I kind of want to stay on this tab right now. He's home, probably for the full day, so I kind of feel like maybe he could do that call, but then again, I almost think it might be better for me to do it, because I don't know if that'd be anything bad that could happen from him kind of disappear both. But that was a frustrating and odd experience that we had there the other day at when we did our errand. Um, but just a moment. Well, she was active 12 minutes ago. Just typing a few words to somebody who sometimes likes to come and watch the videos, and she would for sure let me know whether when the person comments, I won't say whether it's at someone or not, but and I would react just as excitedly probably to most nice comments. Well, I wouldn't be unappreciative of nice comments, I'll tell you that much, because that would be weird and silly of me to do. Um, but and I don't know, not being home, but that too. I don't know if this topic is really one worthwhile for her, but and she does get achievements, but it could be because it sounds like she's kind of lonely. 14 hours ago. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It was like 11 or 12 midnight, I believe, here. Um, I don't know how much more to try for that one. So, but, and that's kind of, again, fits in with the topic, although this is kind of a bit of a side topic that I might bring into this. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the rest of this lotion out of here. If anybody who uses this stuff, if you can manage to cut open the bottle and that, you can actually find, and I almost didn't even think to do so this time around, you can actually find that there's still quite a bit in there. When you can't otherwise get anything else out of it. So, yeah, I really kind of do want to wait for. I mean, I might be able to kind of talk it through myself, and it's not all about just me needing support and advice. It's about giving it for each other and just having a nice conversation, but as well, but and part of the reason why I introduced this topic, other than that I think it's a good one, is because I am struggling to decide. I think it was pretty late last night. I'm glad this on the camera. I think it was pretty late last night that I've been thinking of this particular person, and I would have had to have called the rental agency for the place that she might still live at. I'm not even sure. To get this information. I don't know if she knew it was but as I mentioned last night, I seem to remember, although I don't know if I remember them calling back, but then I called back and I think got the answer from them. I seem to remember that I did this once before, and they said they'd have to check with the person first, and that's always a good thing to do. But before they would give out any information. Most likely, hopefully, somebody's open to it and it's positive thing. But and then if things don't work out once that happens, in this kind of situation, like they wouldn't be to blame. They got the permission and then gave it to me as I asked. What happens from there? There is one thing I'm thinking about with this individual, and I don't mean to come across sounding judgmental, because I actually kind of don't. This person's a very nice person, and it's not hard to be nice, and there's lots of nice people out in the world. There's also lots that aren't, and I think that they can work on that perhaps, and getting better in that way. But there is, but it's always something to appreciate, right? And not take for granted. And so she was always pretty nice person, but the thing is that again, I don't mean to be mean to anybody who might relate to this. And there could be health reasons. Medications is true, a stroke, and then also, what was the other thing? Eye twitching, and what was the other thing? Oh, sing-songy voices, which that can be people around just who someone is, and it's fine and everything, but it might kind of, get to someone who might be a little bit more sensitive. Like for me, with the eye twitching thing that this particular woman does, I don't think it's a nervous thing. She is older, not that only old people are on medication, but it could be a health-related thing. And I remember somebody else I knew actually with it too. I saw her usually once a week. Um, for me, what it would more so be, just a moment. For me, what it would more so be is that I would feel like she is, and maybe she is, in discomfort. And it is a bit distracting, if you're trying to have a conversation with someone and they are, some people might actually say it's Tourette's too, but with this person I'm thinking of, I don't think it is. I could be wrong. And also, I don't know of, personally anyway, I don't know a lot of people anyway that have Tourette's, but I don't know of a lot of older people that have it. But, young people that have it get old, I don't think we're going to be talking about this. As far as, I can't remember. I feel like there's one other person that kind of comes to mind besides the other two ladies I'm thinking of. There's a girl, a woman that I discovered on here. I want to watch her. I'd have to watch her when the dog's not around though, because she has a vocal one, and she sounds a bit like a dog, and I don't want it. That must be so hard. I'm just thinking about it a little bit deeper for a moment. It must be very hard. Maybe she can't. People when they're being playful with their dogs might bark at their dogs, but certain things make it a little bit easier or less pronounced, I suppose. But that must be so hard for her. Like she couldn't be around a dog because she could unintentionally do this often and get the dog worked up. Some dogs are pretty easily, bark pretty easily, but if they are being more quiet, and then that's unfortunate because dogs are lovely animals. Even if one doesn't have one themselves, they're lovely. So that's and I still don't know, but you get put them to stay on, and they have somewhat insulated breathing, but you got to be really careful when it's really, really cold. But anyway, but no, I think that's what it would just be, is that I feel like I'd be sensing that it must be so uncomfortable for her, to have that in her face doing it all the time. Maybe not when she's sleeping, but, and I'm trying to remember if years ago when I knew her, if I noticed that. I think I did mildly. She does, I think, have some vision difficulties as well. So I don't know. I guess this might be starting a little bit early, but they might start a little bit early. But yeah, so I don't know, man. Um, um, if I was to think of other people, I'd love to be going by the chat, even though it wouldn't be necessarily the same people. Uh, although there's now someone I'm thinking of, and I hope he tunes in. Uh, aesthetics, whatever the word is. Rock, believe. Uh, but basically, um, I could maybe say, oh, I know somebody with that first kind of thing, or that makes me think of somebody. That would be a cool little thing to be, cool little way to think of folks, based on a conversation, based on, like you say, um, um, their names. And so, yeah, but when we reconnect with people in our life sometimes, it doesn't necessarily always go well. Sometimes it goes not like unwell, but it's a um, slower than, we may have certain hopes, when we reconnect with some people, and we want it to go at a certain rhythm in that, or and it doesn't necessarily. In fact, now I'm thinking of somebody who I'm a bit worried about. But I emailed him not that long ago. Yes, it was an invite to something, but I think I said one or two other things. And whether he had much to say or not, he could have said whether he was interested in the event or not. I'm really quite worried about him because I know that he's struggling. This time of year is probably extra hard. Um, and, it's hard when we see people who we care about, people who are great people, and we see them struggling, right? And I think we can all relate to that. And even perhaps a little internally, we might feel like, like we're good, worthy people, but we're struggling. And then what does that look like? What does that kind of, manifest, for us? And I hope that we still manage to treat other people well, even when, if struggling, oneself. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like, I know that it's on this device, and I'm hesitant to bring it up. That's why I came to this tab. But I'm going to open a new one. Um, uh, I don't know if I should say where the inspiration came from. Um, I could just say maybe um, that's a weird friend request, actually. 128 friends that she has. Only 2 photos showing on her wall. Um, and to be honest, I don't. No mutuals. I don't think that. So maybe it was a. Maybe it looks like. I wanted to not interrupt him, if, and let him look at it later. Um, I don't know if I messaged him if he would notice or not, but maybe I should do that. But now I can't redo it for 28 hours or whatever it is, unless that's changed. Uh, but maybe if she's looking in the next few minutes, since sending it, 6 hours ago. I don't know what to think, but this is a shared device that not really, you know, YouTube, me and the other person in the house share. This is not really my, what I might do is just say, let him know, and then he'll probably decide the same thing as me. Um, just a moment. Um, some people would say that the chicks that really, are showing off, oh, yeah, and it's natural or whatever, then you have that. But showing off are usually fake. Uh, um, there was something else I did. I was thinking of looking up, and that might actually. I believe I know about this in general, but I don't think there's anybody that's going to recognize unless it shows out of order. Um, he hasn't been at what he's doing very long. I'm not sure. Anyway, for now, I'm just going to kind of leave it, I think, and let him decide later. Um, but it's interesting. I was sending something to somebody about this topic. I didn't get into it much. I decided I'd come do this video, and the person made a somewhat random mention, which makes me think of kind of uh, Christmas Day and the plans that I'm likely to have. Um, and basically, it could kind of fit with this topic, which uh, um, is about. Sorry, I'll focus a bit better. Is about when to decide to reconnect with somebody. Um, you know, and and how do we decide to do so, and what kind of things do we need to consider? Because it's certainly hard to not think about the times when it either, like I say, doesn't really unfold in the way that we, or as quickly as we might want it to, or as meaningfully, as deep as we might like. Um, or it kind of does, and just something kind of falls apart within it, and you decide that it's best not to be in contact with that person anymore. It can make you think when you're considering that kind of thing, make you feel a little bit uncertain, right? Um, 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 was it? Can you hear the radio very very loud? By the way, I'm sorry. By the way, if anyone watching haven't been rolling that long is putting chat conversation, I'm not seeing it yet. If you're not, I would love it if you would at least say hi. Hopefully more than that. But so I could know if that feature is working. It's so stupid that on the two cell phones, there's no option for it to be able to display afterwards, but during is fine. And actually, that's something I wanted to say. Um, uh, um, is that, and I hope that you might want to like as well. It's always something to like, I feel, and especially the longer that you give it. And right as I said, especially the like, no, I don't think so. No, they didn't say that, but anyway, I would like to, not super deep into this video, also request that this is the kind of topic that, because two of us use this channel, the other one's not likely to look back unless there's a notification. Unless I show him, some of the content that he wasn't around when I recorded, um, he's not likely to, and sometimes it doesn't even know that, but we try. That's another reason why it's good to kind of look back at the videos. Some, but yeah, basically, okay, now he's not in there. Let me just quickly check this. Um, and let me just quickly check. Well, at least I decided to do, or Um, just one quick moment. I'd like to say hi to G this way too. It's giving error, but I think it will still let me do this. Just a moment. Um, just a moment. That's because this is a shared device. This won't take long, and then we'll get back to the topic. Feel free to say hi. I'd like to know. Actually, that, I might say too. Hi. I just wanted to make sure you got my message about that. Yeah. I guess not. And I thought you might want to say quickly hi to the podcast. And what was the other thing? Well, other than get back to it, there was one other thing, but I can't remember what it was now. So these messengers kind of working here, and yeah, okay, we'll talk to you later. Okay, but yeah, it's this device. Anyway, talk to you later. We don't do that very often, but I didn't feel like getting up, so. But yeah, so see, that's the kind of thing. It's in a way good though, but yeah, since I accidentally, out of quick impulse, did it, it won't let us review it now. So that's unfortunate, or at least for a number of hours. 2 days. Stupid, 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 stupid. Um, he didn't feel like it was that urgent to look at. I'm kind of surprised, but whatever. Um, um, I would say it looked a little bit sketchy, though. I would. Yeah, if she said that 6 hours ago, you know, she may have moved on, forgot, and it may have been a bot. Now, as far as the name, other than Ray and yeah, so I heard that almost my cousin, well, um, and I've known a musician with that name, and otherwise a Disney character. Um, maybe if it doesn't show, I mean, each device might show it differently, but might not also. Yeah, I took care of it on this one, but okay. So next time I have to go up, or maybe in a moment. That was the other thing I was going to ask. Uh, just really quickly here. I'll let you see G again. Hi, sorry to interrupt again. Just one more quick thing that I remembered what the other thing was. I was having difficulty entering that thing because something else popped up, so I'm just going to ignore it for now. But if you could, well, you know what? I'll do it. I wanted to run upstairs for a moment anyway, so I will send a test comment through just to see that that's working. It's all good. Okay, bye. Okay, I'm just going to go upstairs because I can't guarantee whether the person watching right now is going to put anything in the chat. You know, it's gonna feel like chatting, and I'm not sure if the feature's working, so I'm just gonna, as just mentioned, do that. I went up there, it looked like some comments came in, so that kind of told me that they are behaving, so let's just see. Oh, the other thing I wanted to quickly do is do this, do this. Um, I'll do that later. The other side. Yeah, so basically, hi there. Let's see. Okay, I'm glad to see that. You're well as well. Sorry to hear you can't stay long. Thanks for letting me know. I hope so as well. And yes, have a lovely day. Um, okay, so that answers it. So other people follow suit, follow along. I appreciate it. So yeah, um, basically, um, uh, so but you know that is kind of a connection I still kind of have with that family member, and some of the stuff I talked about in the previous video. I think just keep that in mind. And other than that, you know, anxiety is really. I mean, not only, but largely. But I mean, what can we do about it, right? You know. Um, um, so, but and then there was somebody else that was mentioning here, but again, that's one where I feel like there's more certainty that I feel it's a little disappointing, but I feel more justified that I made the right decision as far as that one goes. But as far as like when we were on holiday and the incident, I think Janet had more of an issue with it than he did, but. Hmm. Does that represent me? No, it's something like that. But I do want to look around and see if there's anything that maybe we could part with that might be nice to get rid of something, give a gift, and the sister for that matter. I've already found one thing, possibly for both, and actually one of them is actually a bongo drum, so that could be a really cool gift. And I said, hopefully, and I'm thinking to drum up some opportunities, um, in the new year, some purpose and success. I understand that those are important things. Um, but I think something a bit more greater than that. I mean, it makes sense, but I think she's already got one or two, and we don't want to necessarily tell people about, what she does. And operates in that way. It's not a bad thing, but some of these may not be the wisest. I kind of don't mind those, though. I don't know, but those can work. And I wouldn't want there to be too much of an empty spot, but I'm just looking at some of the knickknacks. I mean, which we really usually don't pay that much attention to. Like maybe, I'm doing a quick scan, just kind of what's in view right now, and nothing. Nothing's really jumping out that we'd give her, I don't think. Except for maybe a book. I don't know if she really reads or is able to read that well with her struggles that she has. She has a bit of a brain injury and stuff. Um, and I don't know her that well. But, so I'm going to say I've just taken a quick look through, kind of what I can see from where I'm sitting. I'm almost thinking I'm going to look later with Big Band because I noticed that it slid a little bit, and maybe that was meant to, and it did catch my eye, and it wasn't that long ago that I was thinking about how I want to do this. And it's something to do. It's something to do, and hopefully it all works out. I can say if I find something, but don't tell him to do it yet, but it's getting close, and if like something happens to her or something, because I just donate it somewhere because now I don't want to think about it because of what happened. But yeah, I'll look over there. don't really want to talk about the connection, or about the topic. I kind of do, but this particular, I don't think. Um, but there is something interesting that just kind of came up. Pretty much mine, because I don't mind. Oh, well, I guess I feel a little bit mixed emotions in this, but I mostly don't mind. But the thing is, I would say about her, because it kind of makes me think of the other day again a little bit, is that, a lot of people drink, but I think that she drank quite a bit. And, because we really don't appreciate the way that some people, the things that some people do. Any exes I can get back in touch with? Just because, well, I've kind of tried it already. I could try it again. Yeah, she wouldn't get a issue either as well. And I've reached out a few times. Um, and I was thinking about that name just the other day, actually. Uh, we'll see. We'll see. As far as the eye can see, just kidding. Um, um, whether it was a narcissist, um, and kind of a little odd. Um, you um, you know, or but they last for 2 or 3 years. Maybe I don't think so. I don't know because she's connected to what's his face. So no, not really. But if I was gonna say one, I mean her name makes me think of my steps a little bit because you could say it's the female equivalent of that, and all I had to do was type the first name and it shows up. So I'm actually just reaching out to an ex from my high school days at the moment, and that's kind of what this video is about: reconnecting with people. And oh, hi, Leanne, how are you? Good to have you here. I thought you might be in school, and I think you said you're homeschooled. Is is it? Are you sick? Homesick? You got it from your dad, or possibly school's out for the year now? Anyway, very glad to have you here. It's been a little bit quiet. Oh, you're off for the thing. Okay, I know. I think I know what you mean. Um, yeah, I'm a little bit tired. I wanted to sleep in a bit more since we kind of could have, but it didn't happen. Um, and I'm just being thoughtful, nostalgic, and it's actually very ironic because there was something I thought of doing when I was trying to go back to sleep. Thanks for the like, by the way. I think it was from you. Actually, no, I think it may have already been there. I hope you will give one. I think you will. Uh, okay, thanks for sharing. Both of mine had passed away, but okay. Yeah, like my grandma's name is Sharon. No, just kidding. Sorry to hear about all the losses you've been through, by the way. Yeah, I was thinking about Reba earlier, actually, and I thought of searching RE in one of my old socials, and then, for whatever reason, I guess I thought that, well, yeah, I almost decided not to, but I'm finding myself doing so I'm kind of doing that a little bit, and yeah, about reestablishing connections, because, life is short sometimes. But I know that you're a little on the younger side, kind of, sort of. So you might not have a whole lot of experience with that. You're still building the connections that are some of your first connections in your life, right? Um, and I guess I'm one of them, so I appreciate that. Um, I don't really think anything weird, but let's say that you're doing a great job. Because I actually think you are, and if you're not, that's fine. And there's two of you here now. I'm trying to think when I was, and I was just thinking about that actually. Uh, Well, can't you eat at the same time, or do you have to eat at the table with your dad and your family? Um, I was 11 in grade 6. It's great to eat. Seriously? I kept it right. Do remember. I hope you remember to like though, because like I say, I think that like was there already. And I hope you can chat with me until somebody else comes in to chat with me, because it's kind of quiet and boring otherwise. I mean, I try and keep the momentum going, but um, what do I dare ask? I'm a bit of a picky eater, and sometimes I'm easily grossed out. It's true, but what are you going to be having for dinner tonight? Or I guess it'd be lunch, brunch. I think we're only an hour or two different from each other, so. Um, of course, you can see that. Lunch, yeah. What are you having? Okay, now what happened when I did that is it okay. It was pending for a moment. Then it said sent. Then it said delivered for some weird reason. I'm also trying to decide what to make of this message. Basically, somebody posted in a group where like filmmakers and creative sorts, and a local group, and they were looking for. I'm looking for the chapstick. As I do. I had it a moment ago. Uh, as often is the case. Oh, there we go. Anyway, they were looking for. Yeah, hopefully, you're able to multitask. Hopefully, that's allowed. But um, I was looking for. Yeah, because the main topic of this, like I mentioned earlier, may not be. So we can veer from it a little bit. That's fine. Um, I can't believe I've been kind of going on about it for 50 minutes already, 45 ish. But she was looking for an apartment, an empty apartment suite. She said, which kind of makes me think of the other thing that made me kind of do this video. She could have just contacted a rental agency maybe or whatever to do a film thing. I said, I don't know about an empty apartment, but unfortunately I know about an empty house near my place that, we're getting a blizzard today. Our winters can be pretty extreme, and now that they're here, we're expected to get some very, very cold weather. I don't know if it's going to Colorado or what, but, and, it just makes me kind of sad that, there are people that need housing. There are empty houses, and these people aren't able to, you know, be in them. Well, most of the time, in most cases. Anyway, but the other thing I wanted to do was start a drop-in center and possibly help this person with this project. And unfortunately, it was one of the rare times. I'm glad the delivery worked out. I'm largely a homebody. I've been kind of in a stagnant thing in life lately, but there's been a few things I've been going to lately. Well, not a lot, but a few. And lo and behold, the day that I go out to something, which was a really lovely day, I did a podcast about it just yesterday actually. Um, uh, she messaged me at about 10:20 in the ish in the morning, but um, I was with somebody who had a phone. I was very focused on what we were doing. It would have, for the most part, especially the first part of it, which was like 2 hours, would have been actually considered quite impolite to have had the phone out. I know sometimes maybe matters a little bit less, and one thing I would say, maybe I don't need to say it to you because you're of that generation. If you can ever maintain it when it is working, then you have to reset things up and everything. That must be annoying. But is that I don't know if people will hear this 52 minutes in, but have you liked yet? I'm just checking. Um, just so other people could see. But when somebody is, doing something on their device, uh, Roman or ramen, like the packets, isn't exactly healthy, but okay, cool. I thought that, yeah, okay. I didn't even think it was coming. Raining and warm, snowing and maybe not super cold, but snowing and blowing here. And I have super red. Yeah, stuff with the broth is, even though they say soup, I've often found stuff with the broth is a little bit iffy when you have a runny nose. I had the most interesting soup the other day. It had sweet potato. It had a bit of an afterspice to it, and it looked, I think, regular potato or some sort of dough dumplings. It was kind of weird. I think it was African of some sort. Trying or starting to. Um, okay, that's yeah, not the most well. Those dried veggies, it's pretty quick and easy. So I guess it's maybe not like a we're gonna sit down and have a full dining experience. You can take the cup to your room kind of thing. Anywho, so yeah, so I mostly use the Wi-Fi at home, and I don't want to go out with my devices if I can avoid it, and usually I can, and risk not being able to reconnect to the Wi-Fi at home. And I actually only have my Messenger on the one device, um, which holds a charge really well. Yeah, the first couple snows are kind of like that, and then it sticks around. It's definitely sticking around now. Lots of centimeters, or whatever they call it, inches. I was working atop of. You're working on top of a car. Why? And the other person, feel free to weigh in too. I know you just got here, but welcome. Just because we're having a nice conversation doesn't mean you can't comment too. Car Go Tanner about. What's that? I do like the name Tanner. I was actually mentioning that to someone the other day. It's about 10 feet up in the air, 6 feet off the ground. Oh, cargo container. You're putting a cargo container on a car, and then you were going to go somewhere. Okay. Anywho, so yeah, I didn't see it until um, almost 7 o'clock that night. Now I was home earlier, but when we got home, we were putting all the food that we got to come home with away. G was dog walking. I did a quick podcast, and then we had a nap. I think so. Ooh, those crap things. Anyway, and so yeah, I didn't get till 7, and by then they had already found one. I have since said, uh, and I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, the message or the comment that I posted her saying that I'd essentially sent this message offering this, that I'd still like to be involved in the project. What is the genre and what part of the city is it in? She's seen my asking, ain't saying. I don't know if I should send again or not. I don't, 14 hours ago, like I said, I think that was 11 or 12 at night. That could be considered late for some people. She looks like she's maybe my age, maybe a smidge younger, or a few years older, oddly. I'm not sure. Because I think that might be a grandparent in her, with her standing there. Quite a height difference, too. Um, but I don't know if age really means anything as to whether someone's a night owl or not. I think it doesn't. It's a point in someone's life, and it varies, and it depends. Yeah, it just depends on the person. I think when we get older and we start to have health things, like sometimes we'll want to sleep, but we can't. It's just too uncomfortable. Uh, yeah. Speaking of my dad, I don't know if I told you, my dad did before he passed away. He was a blacksmith, put horseshoes on horses. And I saw someone live streaming doing that recently. I also saw somebody just simply in the stable, but that was so nostalgic. He had a very sad story about his dad. He didn't say a lot about it, but yeah, that was. I subscribed to the guy because it almost brought a tear to my eye actually, but yeah. Um, Tarps, okay, at least we'll try probably those two. Well, that's nice. We're taking good care of them at least, though. Yes, I don't know if I should message that person or not. I really don't. They're talking. She would be around too, right before Christmas. It's kind of surprising. But I guess if the people involved in the project don't celebrate, they might be. I don't want to say that because there's all kinds of things in the news. Oh, cool! I'm going to have horseback riding in the summer. Yeah, I remember those days. I have a sad story about. Well, it's not the worst one could speak about, I suppose. I actually have a really nice horse jacket. I have a pile of stuff, I think, on top of it. It might be on that other chair. I could go get it if you'd like and show you. Um, But no, now that I'm not as keen about. Those things can be very more dangerous than a horse, I would say. And it's interesting the concept. I don't know how the concept started. I'm sure medieval times maybe of horseback riding. To get on top of an animal's back. But I mean, horses are big, strong animals, so it kind of makes sense. And so are bulls. But no, I would definitely be less interested in that. Um, but what was I saying before that? If you can remind me before the coat thing too, but I'll go get it and I'll show you guys. Yes, it's kind of unique, but and otherwise the topic of this, like I say, it's a bit freestyle, but well, and as we both mentioned briefly about the afterlife, and I never knew I was going to agree with that one day. I believe we live twice because there's the afterlife, but as well. But I do get that. I do get people saying that, and it's true. But and I would say, you know, I would try a lot of things. There's a lot of things I'd like to do. I sometimes struggle to come up with the bucket list, but sometimes I think of some things. Not that long ago I did, but I don't know where I put it. But I'm certainly not going to do absolutely everything. You were talking about a girl you were talking to, possibly. Yeah, about the film project. Oh, that reminds me, but I'll have to wait till he's done with the phone because I was borrowing it that day and was texting her. There's a lady. She kind of was alluding to wanting to talk and collab more in the news, and with this snowstorm weather and everything, she may have decided that she's having a day at home. So as much as I don't want to kind of go against what she said, and I don't know what she's going to think of my, really, you don't know anyone who would make a good podcasting guest? I don't want to say much. Be amazingly unamazing, or that's amazingly unamazing. I don't know what she'd think of that if she even gets what it's slight sarcasm, really. But I was thinking I might text her and just maybe she can give me some ideas to think on, and we can look at them in the new year. I mean, we've kind of started that a little bit. Let me go get that coat though. But yeah, other than that, the topic is, and to the other person, feel free to like and join in as well. Is and again, this is more so while it's live because there's two of us that operate this channel. Uh, do what? Sorry. Oh, right, right. Well, yeah, and life isn't a guarantee. Each day. We could. I hate to. I was thinking of saying this in my next one of my upcoming videos, and it looks like the one. I don't want to make anybody worry. I think as long as we're trying to have as good of a time as we can, whether that's with our own company or with others, and we're doing the things that we like and we love, um, and like my dad's first advice visiting as an angel was, that you're comfortable doing. Um, don't be scared and do it, because honestly we could all die suddenly in our sleep. you know our body could do something we didn't expect it to do. um, we could go into a coma, whatever it is. With your sisters, you're with your sisters now, or you're going to do it with your sisters. Okay, like as far as the bull riding. Okay. And also the horns, that horses don't have. Although I know they kick, and they do have big teeth. But anyway, I'm going to go get that coat. But yeah, the other topic is like I say, about reforming connections that you've had in your life, and um, what you think of the idea, how was meant for you, if you have done it. I think most of us have, or at least have thought about it. And I just said that, so I'm not going to repeat it, but a third person just tuned in, and I will say welcome. I will say feel free to like and put comments. It's always going to be something to like, I think, and so we can have a nice chat. I was just telling one of our viewers that I have a very fancy coat. Was actually my dad's before he passed away. Um, and being that at least one of you is a horse person, I'm going to go get the coat. I don't want to hear any anti-jokes, although I almost told one. Basically, when we had horses, but we moved, we had to give our horses to somebody, and that somebody, years later, passed away from the same thing that the horse passed away with. So, a go of life, coincidence, but yeah. Let me see if I think I know where it is. I had it out not that long ago. Oh. Under that pile. I'm for it. I'm not very sure. I know the works probably kind of in there, but still, I'm for it in one of my videos. Not that long ago, I'm gonna, well, kind of, when you consider I post every day. I'm gonna guess 6 or 7 months ago, maybe even 2 or 3. Unfortunately, I can't find it, but basically it has a few horses stitched on like this area and the back, and it's really well done. Um, yeah, unfortunately, I don't know where it's at right now. Like it's not the season for it. I thought I had it laying on a chair somewhere, but I don't know exactly where it is. Like I say, so you have to look back at some of my other content, or I'll hopefully show you sometime soon. Because it can't be far. I know I didn't leave it anywhere because I'm honestly careful about. Looks like you have left. You stayed for a bit. That was true. I'm honestly careful about going out with it. I like the idea, but it is very unique, and because I worry if I forgot it somewhere, would I get it back? You know, it's a very special, and also about it getting a little bit damaged. I mean, the sleeves are already kind of like the this area is already kind of getting a bit old and torn, but yeah, I'll have to. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's at the house somewhere. That's all I'm saying. You know, a coat hook would make sense, but sometimes we lay clothing down on things, right? So, well, when was the last time I looked at it? 3 or 4 months ago, maybe. Let me just click this for a moment. Oh, that's good news, I think. If that's a foreign word, it sounds like something. But, you know, so she acknowledged that some people are. But that's, you know, she updated her picture. And before then, it says that she hasn't done so since February 23. She's not very actively online. But that was 8 days ago. Somebody from an art group I used to go to, very talented seamstress. I really wanted to reach out to her, but I don't think it's really going to go anywhere. See, the thing is, if I was going out and about a bit more, um, and also some other people sometimes don't, or they stay in their neighborhood mostly. You know, I might run into some people. Like, who was the last? Well, yes, yeah, and just some people I knew from an agency. But who was the last person before that from my past that I ran into? I think it was that Georgie lady that I was kind of alluding to earlier. Um, oh, sorry. But yeah, probably it might be a family rule. No matter what we're eating, we eat at the table together. We talk about our day, even if it's early in the day. That's what we want to do. This one is. I mean, I'd say that one, but there's a bit of awkwardness. And it's not that exact person, it's somebody else with the name. Maybe him, but I think it was something with Page. Um, so yeah, topic, I mean, uh, G will probably be downstairs to do some piano soon, actually. But the main topic of this video is just, I feel like I'm being a bit redundant, but in case it's somebody who wasn't already here, is basically when to decide to reconnect with somebody from your past, and and that kind of thing. Um, and then G will be down to play piano shortly. and then we'll probably have lunch and go from there. Second person that just tuned in, hopefully, I don't know if the comments that are there right now, there was somewhat a reason, and it also just kind of happened that we didn't really speak a whole lot on that topic with that person, so you won't really get a gist of it from that. But I just said it. I just said what the topic was just before whenever you came in. You're also welcome to say Merry Christmas. Hi, how are you? You know, you're also welcome to share if there's something you're struggling with or something that you really just love talking about. And I'm watching both screens. I'm just quickly looking at something here. But I did also want to say, for anybody who thinks that somebody on a cell phone, you know, when you're trying to talk to them, isn't paying attention, I just want to bring up the phrase, the statement. Some people have ADHD or can multifocus, and for some people, that's actually how they process. They're kind of writing down what they're hearing so that they can process it. So I just want to put that out there because, you know, I think that a lot of people assume you're not paying attention, you're looking at your phone. You know, even these days when so many people are doing it. And I think, you know, it's also good to have so many different kind of connections, different formats. And, like somebody told somebody recently, you know, this is, even though it's online, we have people from the real world, you know. I thought I just saw the name, and I should have. They're not religious, and he's also still got a couple of quite young kids. I thought I saw it. Maybe I did. That's weird. I mean, it's not someone I was super close with. Maybe it wasn't even religious, but I don't know. A fellow musician. I'm tempted, though. I'm tempted. Would make me think of my high school days. It's kind of a unique name, but I did go to high school with um, wonder what that means. Okay, I don't know. Anywho, yeah, so G would be down here to play piano soon, otherwise we can just chat. And I'm multitasking. This guy here, he hosts a show that I was almost on. I can't remember why it didn't happen. It's also in another community I'm in. I seem to remember my last interaction with him. It kind of, I mean, there's always going to be someone, and then it's a fairly common thing that sometimes somebody just they look at it curiously and won't get around to it, and then they forget and get busy. I know that I felt like this morning my friend Ray was saying that she maybe could have tried a little bit harder, but realizes that we both understand that she had a pretty busy life, worked a lot, she was dealing with her health, and we have the connection the way we do now. So that's it's but that does mean that I can't easily see her in the physical anymore until I pass away. So I mean that's something that maybe we should have but she may have gotten sick quite rapidly. Just to talk briefly about it, she may have gotten sick quite rapidly. She knew that she had this health condition. I think for a while it was doing all right, but anyway, it's fine. There is a bit of regret there, but then it's also kind of like, really though there isn't. Really though there isn't. For the most part, but it's totally understandable and natural to have a bit of it. Whether I don't know, I don't think it should become selfish, but maybe it is a little bit. So I started this pretty much when he went up, but there was a bit of distraction. He's not down by 120. I'm seeing what's up. He's not down. I'm up. Thought it had come down from a little bit. I feel like there's something I wanted to look for on the couch. But it's good that I did that progress. I will keep looking, and In the house, I'm not often chilly because we have our heat on, and it's pretty good for wearing a hoodie. But then I'd see what's under there. I do want to maybe look at this. But there is a small temptation to reconnect with that person, though, because chapstick if you're curious, chapstick if you're not, and that's why. Just kidding. um, yeah, we have some common. We have some things in common, and I'm kind of curious about his show. I don't remember much about it. I think it was kind of just general fashion entertainment. Um, so yeah, just here to chat. G will be down soon to play some piano, unless you'd like to hear a different instrument. But and you're welcome to do song requests, and one of both of us will try to do it, and then we'll have some lunch in a bit. I mean, this is someone from my high school days. Can you have access? I was never that close with her though, and she was the prom queen, and a lot of guys really liked her. She's not online very much, and she still has the wedding same. Yeah, she still has the same photo from ages ago. Um, this one maybe. This is an interesting connection. I didn't know he did acting. I don't remember kind of what transpired in the last conversation I had with him, but it must have been via ear. I should look at that though. Oh right, that's something. Um, but I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Nobody's here at the moment, so it's fine. I would love for there to be a more interesting comment along the bottom. And some people here. But longer than I thought. It already emptied it, so that's good. Hi, Sunny, how are you? So I think it's on all devices good now. Laptop, that's all that. Yeah, two are the ones I chose. So. He's just got to do. Well, he was going to come down for a few minutes, but I think he'd rather come down and settle down here for a bit playing piano. So he's going to do what he's going to do first because somebody bought something from us. We're trying to figure out how to ship it to them. We need to look at alternative options, and we want to get that to. Apparently, he's being good and not, cameras and everything, and we are. So. I want to make sure that this gets to him. He's actually spent a lot, and he didn't even second think, oh, maybe I should spend a little less. Maybe that's why this happened that way. He wants to spend more. Maybe he's getting gifts from somebody else. So, but yeah, we really appreciate it. Helps keep us afloat, and it's great. I guess we're still waiting for the delivery too. Hope there's no mess ups on that one. Oh, yeah, I'm looking for the mail delivery money. I don't know when it needs to be happening about that check, but I know you're waiting for your other parts too, so. But, oh yeah, oh. Well, that's okay. Oh, it's okay. It's still there, so. We got to get one of them, eating the cat clothes up and stuff, that kind of thing. Just gonna go back there. I guess he went back up. Make sure you send him back down when you come. Okay, make sure the dog's with you. Okay, sir. Uh-huh. I don't know how you do that. Show. Okay, what I have open on the laptop as far as that goes is the reminder to call shoppers. Do you maybe want to do that first? And then...
oh, yeah, I can...
Okay, sure. A minute, I have the number, I think, up here. Don't say it out, though, because I'm rolling.
Oh. Bill.
A deer, a female deer? Skip. Sunny house, please. At least doesn't look like there is, but just in case. And, try not to get too aggravated with them. Just, remember, you're just asking, was there a system glitch the other day that maybe started just before you got there? That's why it was wonky. Oh. And earlier it popped up something about hello. Okay, but now that's weird. Didn't do the same thing before, but that'll be music thing, so okay. Shh, please. There wasn't actually as much in here as I thought there was. I guess I had been keeping it up for quite a while. Shh, please. Oh, you're sitting here so good and nice, aren't you? Oh, good and nice. I was talking to our dog, sorry, I was away briefly. As you can see, I'm back. He is coming downstairs though. I might wrap up actually. I don't know. He was going to do piano, but I guess I'll wait and see. If there's nobody here, it's fine. But I mean, really, it's just as simple as Canada.
To serve you better. After your call, we would like to ask you a few short questions.
Yeah, there's
about your
no.
experience. Please press 1 now to accept the survey.
Ow.
Press 2 now.
That could be fun.
Please stay on the line. When you're done,
But yeah, there's no link.
the survey will start automatically.
See an option. I've never. Word. I feel. Oh, you can attach a file, but if that's what you're meaning to do. Sorry, our dog has been walked. He's got food. He's just being noisy. And he's on hold with the call. We can still chat. You can song request for when he's done the call.
To use our automated
And
callback
okay.
service and have Canada Post call you back when the next agent is available.
Gotta have it more often than that. That's annoying. Please, Sunny or annoying.